Good afternoon, and thanks for joining us for Living Local, your lifestyle show for all things Charleston and beyond. I'm Ashley Meservey. Joining us today, we have Dr. Haley Webster. She's the medical director and owner here at Sangaree Animal Hospital at Cane Bay. Thanks for having us back today.
Thanks so much for coming.
All right, so we're talking about today, bringing in a new furry friend. But before we get into all that, let's just get a general overview of what you do here at Sangaree Animal Hospital.
So at Sangaree, we are in charge of primarily general medical care for dogs and cats. So dentals, spays and neuters, other general procedures, preventative care such as blood work, vaccines, that sort of thing.
All right, so you cover all the bases when it comes to that. So let's say I get a new animal, get a new dog, and I adopt the dog. How do I start that process as far as knowing what to do next to make sure that I'm setting my animal up for a healthy and happy life?
So you want to make sure you bring any and all records that you have. So anything you've got on them, you bring them with you, whether you just got a puppy from a breeder, a kitten from the shelter, or if you have an adult dog. So depending on their life stage, it's really important to talk to the veterinarian about, do we need to do more vaccine boosters? Do they need blood work? Do they need heartworm prevention? Things like that. And so especially with the puppies and kittens, we want to make sure that we set them up for success by getting them started on their booster series when they're really young. They'll come to see us every few weeks for the first couple of months of their life, just as though if you had an infant, you'd bring them in for vaccines. So same kind of thing with these little guys.
They're like our babies, right?
Exactly, exactly. They are little babies, and so we want to make sure that they stay nice and happy and healthy. Really important also to make sure that we keep these guys on parasite prevention. Heartworms, fleas, ticks, intestinal parasites, things of that nature. And so when we talk about rescuing older dogs or bringing in older dogs for the first time, you also have that added component of blood work and urinalysis, and the fact that we could have other diseases or things like that going on that you want to make sure you cover. And so it's real important if you're going to be coming from another vet office to bring all of that information.
Make sure you have all the information. And what I've learned too is that our dogs go to camp sometimes, and the boosters are a big thing now. Like, so why is that? Why are the boosters now something? I just noticed that, like, when I was growing up, or even like 10 years ago, like, not showing my age, but that it didn't seem to be as much of a thing. Now it's almost 6 months and they're needing boosters.
Used to be the dog just got a rabies vaccine once a year, and that was all you need to worry about. They're good to go. So, but we have learned a lot more, just like with human medicine, we've learned a lot more about different diseases other than rabies that are really deadly for these guys and can really cause some issues. And so we want to make sure that we keep them happy and healthy. The really important part is to prevent disease, and vaccines are the best way to do that. So that's why a lot of doggy daycares, boarding facilities, things like that, want to make sure that they're not spreading any diseases.
Okay, so let's say this is someone's first animal. What would be some of the tips you'd give them before they walk through the door? So, some of the expectations, because the dog's going to be scared or the cat's going to be scared. Like, what are some of the things they can do to prepare themselves?
So, well, nobody likes going to the doctor. Pets are no different. So just want to make sure that you have a list of questions. So especially if it's your first pet, I know you got to have some questions. How does potty training go? How do I deal with the litter box situation? How do I introduce other pets to my pet?
Because if you Google it, you're going to go down a rabbit hole, and it's not going to, you might as well just ask an expert, right?
It's so much quicker just to ask the doctor. And we're always so happy to explain things. It's what we're here for. It's what we enjoy doing, is educating everybody about their pet. And so the biggest thing is coming with a list of questions and just being prepared to soak it up and try to follow some basic things to make sure they stay healthy.
And as I saw at the front, I mean, everyone here is so friendly, and it's like they know people by name. They're like, "Oh, hey, Mr. Jones." I'm like, "Oh, okay."
Well, great staff.
Yes, I love that. So, anything else we need to know as far as like bringing a new animal into the home that you think, as far as like tips on how to make sure that we're setting ourselves up for success?
The biggest thing is to just recognize that it is a responsibility to have a pet, and so there is a lot of time and effort put into it, and especially in the beginning, a lot of times you're going to be coming to see us a lot.
You become probably like therapists a little bit too. You're like,
yes.
Some people have like children, and they're like, I don't know what this dog or this cat wants from me.
What am I supposed to do?
Exactly.
We're the person you come to.
Alrighty, well, thank you again so much for having us today.
Thank you.
All right, and for more information, you can always head online to Sangaree Animal Hospital, canebay.com.